So how do you take care of information technology? How do you take care of assets in your organization that people own, that servers manage, all that kind of stuff? That's really what stewardship is all about. It's largely about operations, but it's about taking care of things, doing things right. And it is another one of these encompassing layers of the defense in depth model, because everything depends on stewardship. If you consider you could spec out the best host security in the universe or the greatest data security in the universe, but if you don't have stewardship to make sure that it is applied correctly and consistently, that it is managed properly, that it actually is understood by people that need to understand it, then it all goes out the window. The best solutions in the world are always undermined by lack of stewardship. It's actually not terribly hard to understand. It's not usually expensive to implement, but it's really, really, really important. And it really comes down to a different kind of thought model that we have in security. We have this thought model of policies, procedures, and personnel, or people, process, and technology. And you can see how this kind of maps very, very closely to people, process, and technology. Maybe without the technology here, but these really map tightly to people and process at a minimum, and they imply technology. Stewardship really deals with all of these, with the concept of having human resources processes, with the concept of having onboarding and offboarding, decommissioning and implementation plans, maps for networks, these broader concepts that are considered good IT and have been for a very, very long time, but often get overlooked. Whether they're overlooked at general by IT or as a critical part of a security implementation plan, either way, it's actually a fail. Stewardship is critical for making sure all of this stuff happens the right way the first time and continues happening. Because how often do we do security audits in our organization? Do we do them every 30 minutes? Do we do them once an hour? No, we do security audits maybe once a quarter, probably closer to once every year to 2 years. Is it possible to hire and fire people within those time frames? People that don't understand security or don't implement things correctly or don't follow established guidelines or processes? Of course it is, absolutely is. So that's what we're talking about here, is implementing stuff that happens over and over and over again consistently through things like defining policies, defining procedures, for bringing on people, for bringing on technology, for figuring out who a new vendor is going to be when you need a supply, for figuring out what kind of software you're going to buy, all of that kind of stuff. And the bottom one here, the bottom bullet, is probably my particular favorite, the concept of holistic security awareness, or implementing through stewardship the idea throughout an organization that everybody has a stake in security. Everybody is responsible for security. So if I see an employee named John walking around with a PC when John only ever carries MacBook laptops, that might be a bad thing, might not be a bad thing. John might have been converted to the dark side. He might have been hired by a competitor. He might be an intruder now. He might be a disgruntled employee getting ready to lose it. Any of those things, or it might just be that he's helping somebody move a computer. It might just be that he got a different computer. He decided to swear off Mac OS X and he wants to implement Windows 8. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging him on his core values or beliefs or preferences. What I'm saying there is the implementation of a holistic security awareness across an organization would mean someone might say, hey, John, why do you happen to have that computer that looks like you've never had it before? Oh, I happen to know that is actually Jeff's computer that you're walking around with, and Jeff's on vacation. And Jeff and you have different security clearances or different access to different data. Could be a problem, could not be a problem. But without that security, that holistic awareness, the concept of stewardship, it would be, well, my computer is my problem. Your computer is your problem. His computer is his problem. Or even worse, I just don't care. As long as I can get my job done and get out, nothing else really matters. Security doesn't matter. Security is not my job. Holistic security awareness as part of stewardship has a profound impact in securing against really intangible threats or unknown future threats. We don't know when an employee is going to be persuaded by a competitor to spy. We don't know when an employee is going to come unglued, and come in with an assault weapon. We don't know when any of those things are going to happen, but we can help actually, I would argue, protect against some of them in some cases in a very, very easy way by just implementing this concept of stewardship and holistic security awareness across the organization.